If you want to see how a single 3/8 barb fitting can cost you $4,500. Forget what year this truck is. Badass little Ford Ranger, 347 stroker in it, high compression. 10.5 to 1. Thing came in, it sounded awesome. It didn't sound like there was any issues with it, but he's having erratic AFRs after it's been running for a couple of minutes. He is a dealership mechanic or tech, whatever you call him, and he's like, man, I just don't understand the old stuff that well. This has a Holley system on it. It's had a Phytech system on it before, kind of worked their way through. It's a father and son project. I got talking to him at a car show and I was like, look, man, those EFI systems, there's like a few very basic things. I kind of gave him a checklist. I said, run down this checklist real quick. It's probably one of those issues. And he's like, you think I can just bring it to you? And I was like, totally fine. Brought it in. Got a 044 knockoff pumps. I know a lot of people use them and have success with them. Galtori injection, never heard of them. It looks identical to a Bosch 044, but we're gonna actually put an actual Bosch 044 on it. It had a 100 micron filter, but it was pretty small. And then if you note, oh, we already took the fittings off. But it was being fed by a 3/8 barb fitting. So you can't feed these, you can't really neck these inline pumps down that much. They need a larger fuel feed line than the output line. So we're gonna upsize it a little bit, change out the 100 micron filter, is pretty filthy. And then we're gonna put a larger 100 micron filter in front of it to give it a little more flow. And then we're gonna put a 10 micron filter because right now there is no 10 micron filter on this fuel system before the injectors. So just to protect the fuel system up front, we're going to add another fuel filter to it, and then we're going to try it again, see what happens. It sounds like the fuel pump is struggling, and it sounds like the motor may have burned up in that fuel pump. Whether that's our issue or not, we've got to eliminate that before we can proceed, because it's pretty obvious that there's an issue here. There's also some dry rotting going on in the fuel lines, and it actually had a leak on the feed side. I don't want to catch my customer's car on fire, so I'm going to go ahead and fix this for them as part of the diagnostic process. Swap that out, and then if it fixes the issue, just tell them, come pick up your truck. You know, no big deal. This thing's pretty rowdy. Yeah, I mean, it sounds like it's got some serious balls, so I'm excited to drive it. All right, it's going to be a two-man job. One pops, one swaps.
Of course.
There's back there. You ready? Still got a little splash. Cool. Alright, so we can pretty much just replicate all these pieces. We're not going to fully redesign this guy's fuel system, although
I say this one, just make it a slightly bit
longer. That's fine. I'll recommend it to him, but he needs to redesign some stuff. He also wants to work on this with his son. We'll get it running, show him what the problem is, and tell him you're going to have to change it up. You're really not supposed to feed these things with this, but for the short period of time we're going to run this vehicle, we're going to figure out whether or not this is the actual issue. And the reason we have to do this is, or why it kind of doesn't matter in this instance, is they've got the inline fuel pump primed off of the original fuel sender, which is just a 3/8 barb outlet. We could put the correct, -10 fitting on here, which is what Bosch calls for these pumps, but we would neck it down to 3/8 at the feed anyways. Temporary setup here real quick. We're gonna get it fired up and see if this fixes our issue. If it fixes our issue, we'll call the customer and talk to him about maybe doing a bulkhead fitting or something on here, see if he wants to do it. You can see it kind of separating, the layers separating. You wanna see how a single fuel line can cost you $48,000? YouTube game. This kind of fooled me at first. This is a purlin off of a metal building. Looked like a section of frame rail to me for a second there. And then I realized that he made this and you can just lower it down. Wondering why the inline fuel filter was so difficult to install. I figured it's like he had to have installed this thing with the tank out and then put the tank in, because the tank sits like flush almost up against this. And then I was like, oh wow, it's made like a little tray here that you can lower down. Well, when that should be good. I was under there earlier, and it was like, dude, I came out, my sinuses were on fire. All right, so customer brought us this truck, Holley Sniper EFI system on it, having erratic AFRs, couple different issues. We sourced the issue to a fuel pump that was going bad, replaced the fuel pump. Now we can actually start getting into some of the more foundational issues of it. So we're trying to figure out if we can set timing with the timing light, but front runner system on it, you can't even see any of your timing marks. There's no timing pointer. So we got the vacuum gauge out. Off of vacuum, we'll set our timing, and then we're gonna set our IAC on the Holley Sniper system. And it's looking like this has a pretty rowdy cam in it, a lot of overlap, big choppy idle, you know, so it's only pulling about 6 pounds of idle vacuum. A complaint of a poor feeling brake pedal, probably gonna be because of that. We'll figure out more when we start driving it, but right now, if you look, it's idling at about 900 RPM right now, and you're sitting at, you know, about 9 pounds of vacuum. So you want to see about 17 for a brake booster, but we've already gotten it up from about 5, come up to about 8, but it's not liking any more or less timing at idle than kind of where it's already at. You may just have to live with it. In that instance, probably install an electric vacuum pump and reservoir that'll correct the brake pedal feel. He's also complaining about some kind of odd shifting behavior. It's kicking down at times. We'll have to look and see. This one's a vacuum modulated, so that may have something to do with it as well. It'll probably be more in the kickdown cable, but we're just gonna kind of make sure all the foundation is there now that we can keep it running for a while, and then we'll take it out for a test drive on the streets, start to refine all the issues and get this thing performing like it should.
I just set it at 16.
Oh, you set it at 16? Where'd you have?
There's like a little dot where the timing mark's supposed to go.
Yeah.
It looked like you did a punch on the aftermarket thing for your marker, and they put a big old yellow line on there, so I have it aligned with that marker right now.
Okay.
It's at 16 degrees, dead nut.
All right, I mean, that's pretty good. It's for initial, right? Still only wanting to pull 8 pounds of vacuum. Customer asked us to take a look at the brakes, brought it in for the erratic AFR issues, got those worked out, fuel system's good. Nice 39-degree cold start this morning. She didn't like that, so we did a little bit of cold start tuning, let it cool back down, fired up first hit this time, so pretty good, pretty happy with it so far, but the brakes suck. Sorry, Brady, I'll be testing the brakes throughout. Stay on your toes. This cam must have a lot of overlap. It's real choppy. It's a nice sounding cam. It's a 347 cubic inch stroker motor. It's making good power, I'm sure. It's always hard to tell because these little old trucks make a little bit of horsepower seem like a lot of horsepower because they just spin the wheels super easy. It's only pulling 7 pounds of stable idle. So when we're getting our idle timing and stuff set yesterday, remember, it was only 7-8 pounds, I think. So not gonna have a good power brake booster. So she needs a inline electric pump. Shift's nice, drives good. Needs a new wiper. Pretty good. She went a little fat on XL. Dropped down to about 10.0. Didn't seem to hate it though. AFR went down to 10.0. Probably it's too fat, but it was very short. But we may need to touch up the XL enrichment a little bit. It may be a little high, but that could be something that works out on its own too. Yeah, that was a nice one there. That one was about 12.6. That's kind of what we're looking for. Do a little tip in, tune here, and watch our AFRs. Little stutter there. Let's try that again. Might need to make some enrichment adjustments. For a stroker motor, I mean, this thing runs really nice and cool. Yes, yesterday we had it sitting in the shop idling for quite a while. Fans kick on for like 30 seconds to a minute, shut off, and don't come on again for another 4 or 5 minutes. You know, I mean, the engine builder did a good job. Little hesitation on low throttle. Little hesitation there. Yeah, the brakes are kind of pulling. See if we can't make some adjustments here. A little more fuel on tip end. Need to get a good stylus. Those things are always touchy. Mustache comb. Alright. Yeah, a lot better there. Gave her about 10% on the entire XL enrichment curve. It was at 0. It started at 0 and went up to 125. That's kind of the default factory setting there. We need to do a little IAC work, I think. Let's see. No, IAC's sitting good. Yeah, it's just touching 0 a little bit. We need to back that screw out just a touch. We want it to come up. I like them around 5 to 7. I think between 2 and 10 is what the factory tells you to do. That kicked down and kept about 11.0 AFR, so could maybe go a little fatter. Just kind of going to depend on what the engine wants, and without a dyno, can't really tell. Is it making more power? It doesn't seem to be missing. We're not going lean, so I'm probably just going to leave it just a little kind of quick and dirty street tune. Refer him to a good dyno tuner, but we're just going to get him up and running and driving. Do a little panic stop, so brace yourself. I don't know if you need to grab the dashboard. Yeah, brakes are they're wanting to pull. They're not quite grabbing evenly. So let the trans catch up. Belt squeaking. There we go. Held on to that gear a little too long. Nice. Yeah, really nice. Those are some tall gears. And when this thing hits overdrive, I mean, it really pulls that motor down. It had a hard time breaking 4,000 RPMs. I don't want to get too crazy on the street, but that's good though, because this thing's just a cruiser for the guy and his son. You know, they built it together. It's not a drag strip machine. A lot of people, fuel consumption kind of surprises me. I've never considered fuel consumption or fuel mileage in my vehicle. It's always horsepower and performance. They come in and they tell you they know exactly what kind of fuel mileage their car gets. Yeah, man, it's getting about 14 to 17 on it. I'm like, I have no clue. I don't want to know. I drive big blocks. I get like 4 to 6. It's doing pretty good, man. I'd say we're pretty happy with that. Just a little touch touch up on the XL fuel enrichment in addition to what we did yesterday. I think you were there for most of it, filming it. Some light touches off the base tune, and this ought to be a good little cruiser. I'm gonna try to get one more true cold start for it, leave it outside tonight, and actually confirm what we did, because once it gets warmed up, you gotta wait all day for it to be a true cold start again. I'll call him up and talk to him, see if he wants to just do maybe a rebleed and then reevaluate him from there. But I'm gonna have to break it to him that the bad brakes is not the brakes issue, it's, yeah, you don't have any idle vacuum. Cold start tomorrow and make sure that, you know, it doesn't struggle quite like it did this morning, and should be good. It's a stroker motor with high compression. I would expect a little struggle, yeah. Rowdy, man. It's got a lot of resonation in the cab. Oh, yeah. It's like you feel like you're in a monster